Hello and welcome back to my craft room. Well, at long last, my ScrawlrBox has arrived. I've been waiting so long because it feels like all of my friends in this country, at least, here in the UK, got theirs at least a couple of days ago. So I've been on the edge of my seat and looking at YouTube kind of like this so I don't see any spoilers. There've been one or two hints. So I've got some ideas, but I'm trying to push them out of my mind so I can have a surprise of opening, because that's half the fun for me, I have to say. Now, I do know that ScrawlrBox sent us an email a while back apologising for the lateness, because this is the October box. So, are we number 98 or 99? We're number 98, I believe this is. And we should have had it much earlier in the month. It's now the 30th of October. I've just received mine, but they did send an email through saying there'd been a hiccup, and it was partly because of trying to get the supplies into the box, which of course is completely intriguing and even more overexcited and impatient to get my hands on the box. So let's not waffle on any longer, let's go straight to it. And you can see that it's quite a bulging box, and there's even a little something sticking out here. I don't know if that's just the tissue or if it's, I'm not sure what that is. So, without further ado, let's get in there. Rip strip first time. So, keep myself on tenterhooks just a little bit longer. Just to say that for anyone who doesn't know, ScrawlrBox is a monthly art supplies subscription box. It's so you get a box full of mystery art supplies curated to kind of work together, and you get interesting prompts and things as well, just to get your creative cogs turning. So whether you're a beginner or you're someone like me who's already got a room full of art supplies because you've been at it for years, it's always fun to get. It's always nice to try something different or try something in a new way, you know. So I love ScrawlrBox Day. Don't love having to wait till the 30th of the month for it, but hopefully it's going to be worth it. My friend Zoe Artist has said to me she thinks I'm going to love this one, so I'm expecting something colourful and messy because she said that. Ooh, this is different. We've got a palette. I don't think we've had a palette before. I've been having Scrawler for a few years now, and I've never had a palette before. That's interesting. So some kind of paint then? Or marker that can be used as paint? Oh, I love the look of this. Oh, I'm going to keep myself in suspense just a little bit longer, because I started telling you about ScrawlrBox and didn't finish. So the current price for a monthly subscription is £20.95 a month, but it's cheaper if you buy a longer subscription. But if you buy a monthly subscription like me, like I do, you can cancel at any time. They now have a sub club with lots of different benefits. They've got a Discord channel now, a Discord server now rather, and there are lots of other benefits that you can get as a subscriber. So if you do decide that you'd like to start a Scrawler subscription, whether for yourself or for a friend, if you use the link that I'll put in the description box, you can get £3 off your first box, and then I'll get £3 worth of Scrawler points as well, which is always lovely. So just think about that if you yeah, I'll link to their website anyway, so you can check it out for yourself. So you always get the Scrawler Zine with a little bit of a hint about what's inside. It's still looking a bit watercolory, isn't it? Have surreptitious feel. Might be, I don't know. I actually can't tell what it is from here. What is it, some kind of inks or something? It looks like something sprinkly here, doesn't it? I won't look in the zine yet because there'd be too many clues. Ooh, pretty. You always get an art print like this from the featured artist who has inspired or been inspired by the contents of the box. And it won't always be entirely made of what's in the box. Sometimes they will use other supplies. So this is Emily Wassell, watercolour artist and educator from the UK. Watercolour is a fascinating... Oh, I've spoilt it for myself now. I shouldn't have read that yet. We got some watercolour paper. You always get some kind of it in the box, some kind of a substrate to work on. Usually it's some kind of a paper pad, but occasionally we've had other things like artboard. We've got 10 sheets. Oh, a little bit of strangeness going on there. I'm not sure what that is. That's okay, it comes off, that's fine then. Yeah, quite nice sturdy 300 GSM, that is pretty sturdy. Cold pressed watercolour paper. So now, and then this is always the kind of star of the show, what's ever in this little package. This is the kind of main supplies. Obviously the paper or whatever is important too. And we've got this. But it's what's in here that's the real treasure in this box. So let's go in. What's it going to be? Oh, there's little bottles. Oh, whoa. This is fun. Now, you always get a sweetie as well, which usually in some way reflects what's in the box, whether colour or whatever. Oh, it's bubblegum again. That's the second time of bubblegum recently. I hate bubblegum. Mouth painter. So I can see where they've chosen it. Liquid filled bubblegum mouth painter. Yeah, I'll be passing that on to grandchildren, I think. So what have we got? Oh, you always get a Scrawler sticker. I've got quite a collection of these now, and it's always part of the featured artwork, or in this case it's probably come from here, hasn't it? But I imagine they've both been done by the featured artist. Oops, sorry for the wobbles. Pretty colours. I love how it's all coordinated. Look at that. Oh, I'm going to have a very beautiful thumbnail. Like, no, I can't use it for my thumbnail. Don't want to give anybody else spoilers. Oh, very fancy looking water brush. Crikey, I've only ever used the base. Oh, and it's a really fat one. This little push thing to squeeze the water out. Oh, this is a fancy water brush. Fill it up there so I can take it out and about with me if I want to. And I can squeeze here to control the flow. Haven't tried that before. And we've got a spray bottle. I love these. I always keep my little, I've got my little manky one I've had for ages. Always got my water bottle handy. We'll give it a spray in a minute, see if it's a nice fine one or whatever. Okay. Got the tissue down there with the box. Now this is the real meat of the thing. Ooh, Jackman's Art Materials Crystalline Watercolour. So we've got Midnight Violet, Turquoise and Grey Violet. What a beautiful colour combination. So I will try those out in a moment. I won't be doing my challenge piece today. I will just keep this short and sweet and do it as an unboxing, and I'll come back another day to do the challenge. Now we can go into the zine, because I'm not going to give myself any spoilers. So always get a kind of a brief description of the supplies here. The magic of these paints is you can activate in a variety of ways. Here's this QR code where if you want to, you can get more information about the supplies and the retail prices and things. I'm not bothered about the retail prices. For me, you want to know you're getting value for money, but I don't bother kind of adding up the prices to see if I'm getting my money's worth, particularly because that's not what the box is about for me. It's the fact that they've all been put together in a way I'm going to enjoy and that will inspire creative ideas. Quite often, you hear people say that you could go and buy all those things separately, and sometimes yes you could, sometimes not. Sometimes the price of the contents does add up to more than you've paid for the box. Sometimes you look at it and you think, well, if I went in the sales and I went on Amazon and stuff, I could buy these individual things a bit cheaper, but then I wouldn't think to buy them and I wouldn't wrap them up all nice in a box and send them to myself. So it's there's a certain intrinsic value in the box aside from the cost, the individual retail prices of all of the items, if that makes any kind of sense at all. These are good. This is something I've never played with these at all, or anything quite like them by the look of it. So here's the featured artist, Emily Wassell. Hope I'm saying that right. Lots of interesting questions. Always interesting to read. Look at these figs. Love that. Beautiful. Lovely paintings. Love the leaves. Very nice. Scrawler tips. There's always tips. They have a couple of pages of these now from the Scrawler people and from the featured artist. Block colours on a page and cut out large shapes to stick on. That's my cup of tea, that is. Great for backgrounds too. Yeah. Create texture using the pigment onto a page, cut out more intricate shapes using a craft knife. I do love to, yeah, kind of, well, it's collaging really, isn't it? Ooh, visual interest by using a hole punch. They used the wrong kind of hole there. Use the hole punch, nothing but the punch. To create perfect little circles to stick on. What a clever idea. Switch up the way you hold your brush. I will probably, because this is quite a big fat brush, which I'm sure is useful for lots of things, but I will probably find I will want to bring in another brush as well. And I don't, when I'm doing the challenge, I don't worry about bringing in the odd supply or piece of equipment myself if it will make the contents of the box more usable for me. Pigment's a messy work. If this doesn't sound like fun to you, it's advisable to wear old clothes. I like messy. Always use a dry brush when removing pigment from the pot. Yeah, you don't want to, otherwise they will get damp and clumpy in the pot. Look at this beautiful effect here. If the pigment dries up in your palette, you can reactivate with water. So the thing to remember then is that they are reactivatable. So once they've been wet, they can still activate again if you get them wet again, which can be a really fun thing, but you need to be aware of it. And they're saying that the colours aren't necessarily what they look in when they're dry, so that's how they come out. Interesting, it's going to be very fun to play with. Artist's advice, double up, turn over and paint on the other side. I guess with this kind of heavyweight paper you can do. Never thought of doing that actually. Some contrast. So many artworks that look underwhelming don't have enough contrast. You should have very dark and very light areas and it will sing off the paper. Useful advice. Right, and this is one of my favourite bits. This is the Scrawler Gallery. I don't think I even did this one. It was kind of architectural inspiration, and it was alcohol markers in quite subdued colours. But people did some incredible things with them. I didn't. I just didn't get on terribly well with this one. Oh, spotted someone already. There's our Carmel. Here we go. She's one of our Inspired By collaborators. So, oh, lovely. How lovely to see. How lovely to see Carmel there. Well done, Carmel. Brilliant. The prompt was point of view. I love this. This is really different, isn't it? I love this one. This kind of fisheye view of a whole room there. It doesn't have to be architecture, does it? So someone's done this kind of seascape there. Landscape here. Brilliant. And then there are 3 featured artists. They get their own page these days. I recognise this name. Look at these. Wonderful. Love it. I remember seeing this one. Fantastic. I think this was one of my overall favourites. I just loved it. I loved the point of view. Yeah. There we go. There's a Scrawler thing there, so you can catch up. They do a live every month now, and it's an awkward time for me because they do it about 6 o'clock, and I'm busy cooking dinner at that time. I always miss it. But they're quite fun. They're quite fun to watch, so worth having a look. They've got. I'll link to their YouTube. But I don't think I usually think to do that. I'll link to the ScrawlrBox YouTube channel as well in the description. And the last page, there's always an article about something related to the theme of the box. Expression in art. Cool. They're inspiring, aren't they? Love this. Have a good look at that later. So here we go. The challenge for this month. Loose leaf. Nothing to do with tea. Taking inspiration from this month's artist, we are challenging you to let loose with your creativity. Whether those ideas stem from nature, experiences or emotions, let your artwork bloom and flourish into something magic. So that's quite a broad theme, isn't it? I can basically do it like that and make it fit. Let's have a quick spritz of this. I'm going to go and fill these up. Okay, so I've filled up the water brush and the spritzer. I'll just have a really quick go with these colours just to see what they come out like, and then I'll come back another day to do the challenge. I suspect I will be doing as they suggest and playing with different effects and things on the page and then cutting them up. I enjoy doing that kind of thing. So I need something just dry to pick these out with. It's a scratchboard tool, but it'll do just as a tiny spoon to take this stuff out with. So let's try just sprinkling a tiny bit. Really, really tiny bit. So this is the Midnight Violet. I'm going to put these down at the same time. This is the turquoise. That might be too little, but I don't want to waste too much. So let's. And this is the grey violet. So they're all quite harmonious. That's quite a harmonious palette, isn't it? You can still create contrast by making them more and less intense, I guess. So I'm just going to spritz them this time and see what happens. Take a minute to get going. Ooh, look at that. I might bring you down a little bit more. This is the grey violet. So that's grey violet, but look at the colours in it. And this is the turquoise. So if I now use the brush, look at those effects. Wow. So if I was to mix this together, would it then become grey violet? Yeah, look, see, if you mix all of those shades together, you get grey violet. But if you leave them separate, oh, Zoe's right. I'm going to love this. It's right up my street, isn't it? So to clean my brush, like they said, you just need a bit of paper. Like they said, just squeeze a bit of the water out and get rid of the pigment that's on there. So if I was to, oh, look at that. I think I probably will end up with separate brushes because I'm going to want to flip from one colour to another. Oh. Loving this, loving it, loving it, loving it. It's a good job this paper's so sturdy. Let's just give a little more. So the other thing was to just wet the page first. Oh, I've still got some pigment in there. Yeah, I'll be doing it with separate brushes, I think, when I come to do the challenge proper. I'm just quickly doing this now. So if I was to sprinkle in, I've lost my little scoop thing, where's it gone? This is the turquoise. So the page is already wet and I'm sprinkling some turquoise in. And this is Midnight Violet. I think that page isn't really quite, I think I'd have more of a pool of water on there maybe. And I will definitely need to tape this paper down as well because it's going to buckle up with all the water I'll be throwing at it. There we go, there's a little bit of the grey of violet. It's amazing how yellow that grey violet is, but when you think about it, if you think about your colour theory, if you wanted to mute a purple, you would add the opposite colour to it, which would be yellow, wouldn't it? So it makes sense that a grey purple, a grey violet has yellow in it. Love this. I'm going to have a blast with this. Yeah, for people who hate messy, this isn't going to be a favourite box, but for me, that's right up my alley. I think I might make one of those little peek through books again. That's one of the things that I find frustrating is because of the size of the box, the paper pads need to be A5, and I always find it a little bit frustrating working in A5, but one of the ways I get around that is by cutting it out and making it into different 3D shapes and things, or making it into concertina books or little peekaboo albums I've done before. So yeah, love this grey violet. Is actually very pretty. Mixing up a little bit in the palette. I'm going to try also, I've got a bit of the violet there on its own. Let's have a little bit of the violet mixed with turquoise as well. And let's just have a little bit of this. Okay, so that's all three colours. And I've got the violet and the turquoise in there together. So there's the Midnight Violet. Look how intense you can get it. Wow. And then I could water it right down and get a much softer effect. Look at that too. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Cool, I'm going to be in my element, aren't I, with these? So this is the turquoise and the Midnight Violet together. So it's given me more of a almost like a cobalt looking blue, or maybe more of a Prussian blue. And again, if I really water that down, I'm running out of space, I can get a softer effect. This is very typical of my swatches. I never ever make pretty swatches. Okay, so this would be the turquoise as is. Again, see how deep a colour you can get there. Like I said, you could use different, you could just use one colour and make it different in grades of kind of intensity all around the palette. Maybe you could put turquoise here and violet there. That would work. Let's just try a little bit of that and much lighter. A little of this is going to go a very, very long way as well. So here is the grey violet. I think I've still got some blue on my on my brush. It's almost looking Payne's grey there. I've hardly got any space left. Let's just go down here, look. It is almost a Payne's grey feeling to it. Absolutely beautiful colour. And again, see how dark you can go. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Here's what I've got. The palette, the water brush, the spritzer bottle. Here's my art print, my sticker, my zine with caramel in it. My bubble gum, which I won't eat. Very happy with that. I suspect this is going to be one of those ones where I will just play and see what happens, and maybe I could get a lovely green as well, I think, by the look of it, if I'm careful. Oops. Oh, and I think one of those little peekaboo albums would be a fantastic thing to do with this. There is a chance that I may decide I want some fine liner or something, or I want a touch of white, and I might use my white Signo Broad or something. As I say, I don't have any qualms about bringing in odd basic supplies like that, really, for the challenge piece. End of the day, the challenge is just there to inspire me and get me going. I don't, you know, the people at ScrawlrBox don't mind if you add the odd extra supply, and I know they've actually said that many times. I just even think this piece I've just done as a swatch, I could doodle into it, and it would be really fun. It would be really fun. I might bring some salt up when I come to do my challenge piece as well and sprinkle that in. Some interesting effects. But I'm just going to let this sit here and dry now as it is, I think. I might just take away this edge down here and see what I can do even with my swatch piece. Yes! One of my favourite ScrawlrBoxes. This will go down as one of the favourite ScrawlrBoxes for me, definitely. I've never been disappointed with my ScrawlrBox. I always love it. But obviously some things appeal to you more than others, like, you know, the one that was more architectural with more muted colours. Wonderful supplies, just not really quite so much my cup of tea. This is completely up my alley. I absolutely love it. So this will definitely be a favourite for me. So let me know what you think of the box. Are you one of those people that hates getting messy? I mean, I'm already got it all over my hands. Hates getting messy and won't enjoy this so much? Or are you like me thinking, oh, is it actually making your mouth water because it is mine? As I say, I'll put all the links below, and I'll also put a link to our free Discord community. We have got a ScrawlrBox room in there where you can go in and talk about it without giving everybody else spoilers. So I shall pop in there now and see what everybody else is saying. Now I've got mine. We will be starting the second Great Big Little Art Swap. Starts on the 1st of November. This time there's going to be a theme, or an optional theme, and we can do either squares or bookmarks. So if you're interested in joining us for the Great Big Little Art Swap, watch out for the announcement video on the 1st, which is only a couple of days away now. Thanks very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're not waiting too long for your box if you're still waiting. I'll be back soon to do the challenge piece, so watch this space if you're interested in that. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you again really soon. Bye.